What's going on, everybody? I'm Chris and welcome back to a cooking show because that's the best name I can think of at this point. Today I'm going to be cooking a Midwest staple, the pork chop. It's a bone-in pork chop, but I add a little bit of a twist. I do a maple kind of glazed sauce over it. It's really good. Things you're gonna need for this: 2 bone-in pork chops, some thyme, some garlic, rosemary, salt, pepper, Dijon mustard, maple syrup, beef broth, and balsamic vinegar. The equipment you're gonna need is you're gonna need 1 cast iron pan, you're gonna need 1 small pot like this, and you're gonna want to turn your oven up to about 400 degrees. And you like how I had to just look at everything that we had because I can't remember anything. Anyways, here we go. Pork chop. Seasoning these pork chops is really simple. Just salt and pepper. Just a little bit of salt, guy. Black pepper. Now that those are seasoned, we're gonna get the sauce ready in this little pot here because that only takes a second to get ready. So come on over here. We're gonna take 2 tablespoons of beef broth. I just like to eyeball it. You guys can get a measuring cup if you want to, but and then it's 3 to 4 tablespoons. That's right, of the balsamic vinegar. Little minced garlic. I normally do about 2 cloves worth. I like my garlic. You guys know that. We're gonna do a pinch of Dijon mustard. We're gonna do about 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And just right at the very end, I like to add some rosemary. I got from the farmer's market the other day. I don't need to chop it up because I'm gonna strain this anyways. Actually, you know what? That's a lot. I'm not gonna strain it. I'm just gonna spoon out the sauce while I leave all the bulk in there. So rosemary goes in, followed by thyme. So I'm not gonna turn the saucepan on just yet because I'm gonna get the pork chops on the cast iron and get those cooking, and when they're resting is when I'm gonna get the sauce ready. I know this wasn't on the original ingredients list, but I just thought of this, and I want to add a little cayenne pepper to it because I like a little bit of heat, and I feel like when I have barbecue, a lot of times the sweet heat is something I really, really like, and this is kind of a sweet sauce, so I figured the cayenne pepper would go good, Nick. A little bit of olive oil in the pan here. You're gonna want to get the pan like really, really hot because you want a nice sear, and we're not gonna cook the whole thing in the pan. We're just gonna get a sear on it, and that's why I turn the oven on. Is because we're gonna put it in the oven after we get a nice sear on both sides. And I like to wait so I can see just a little bit of smoke. Putting the pork chops in, a good rule of thumb is to kind of lay it away from you, just in case anything splatters up. You're gonna want to give it about 2.5-3 minutes each side for a nice sear on like a high heat. I say 2-3 minutes because I think that's about how long it takes in my head. I kind of just watch it and look at it, to be real with you. No more f***ing dry pork! You gotta watch out for the grease splatters. It gets you. You also gotta watch out for knives. I mean, I'll tell you right there. Cut half my finger off, that's why I got this bandit on. A little bit longer. So it's been about 3 minutes, I think. Anyways, we're gonna give these guys a flip. Are you crazy? So the thing is, a lot of times pork chops, when you flip them, they like to bow up. I got this little weight right here. These are really good. You can pop them right on top of them. You kind of flatten them back out a little bit so they don't curve up on you. And now that I think we got a good sear on both sides, I'm going to shut the burner off. I'm going to grab my trusty Santa Claus mitt. I'm going to throw this guy in a 400-degree oven. And I'm going to give that about 10-15 minutes. I want it to be like a nice medium. All right, so these have been in about 10 minutes now. I think they're done. They look pretty good to me. Yeah, they feel just right. Cool. All right, we're gonna let these rest for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna get the sauce ready. So pretty much all you're gonna wanna do with this is just bring it up to a boil and let it simmer. So what I'm gonna do now is, once the sauce gets done cooking, is I'm gonna bring the heat back up on the cast iron to get it nice and hot, and I'm gonna cut the heat, brush the pork chops lightly with the sauce, hit them with the sear, pan it, and then sauce the top of them. Pan it, plate it. All right, so the sauce is all done. The one last thing I'm gonna add in at the very end to kind of give it a little bit of a shine is some truffle butter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna brush these with this glaze that we've made, just like that, on each side. And I'm just gonna set them in the pan, and you can hear it so slightly, just like a little sizzle. And while it's in there, I'm just gonna hit the other side, and you can see it's starting to bubble a little at the bottom there. Cool, and after about just 30 seconds, I'm just gonna give it a nice little flip. Nothing crazy, just gives it a little bit of color. I'm gonna add a little bit more on top there. But like I said, it's just sitting in that residual heat, kind of warming the pork chop back up, heating up that sauce that I just put on it. I'm gonna move on to plating now. And there you have it, the bone-in maple glazed pork chop. Sit back, pop and disobey, grab yourself a nice cold beverage, and just slap that right in your mouth.